So my viewpoint before marriage, I really didn't have any viewpoints because my mom wasn't married. So I really did. The only view of marriage that I had was from TV shows that I watched.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So what I did was take my favorite sitcom, Black Dad, you know, the Huxtables.
Trash.
You know, the cows.
Hey,
You know,
Kyle's
sprinkle with a little Bernie Mac in there.
Hey, who you with?
Who you with? So what I did was legit take like a combination of those three dads and a couple more and say, how can you make your marriage unique between you and LaShonda? So I really didn't go in with expectations like you, Bakari, thinking that my wife was going to do this, my wife was going to do that, because I had known my wife for probably 2015. I probably know her for almost 10 years before we got married, but the people that we were in high school were two totally different people that we were by the time we got married. So going into marriage, we had already lived together for a year, so we kind of got to know each other pretty well. But I think our start was, you know what? You don't have to cook every night. For us, it was whoever's wanting to cook that night, you go ahead and cook. As far as kids, we didn't want any kids for a very long time. So we told ourselves, hey, let's wait having kids. Let's just enjoy each other.
Facts.
My expectation was that we will just live civil and we will be a team. That's all I wanted in marriage is, hey, we got to become
Ruined
a
that.
team.
Ruined.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really it. Going into marriage is I wanted to be the provider, and I just wanted my wife to know that she was safe 100% of the time when she's around me. Even when she's not around me, she can feel safety in her husband's presence when she's at work, whether she's at school, whether she's at Walmart, in church, that she has her husband's security, and she is my prize and my gift. That was my expectation before.
Welcome
what
back
we was
to
saying.
another episode of Pops and
Don't do it
Stop.
to yourself.
Nah, I'm
Don't
sick
do it
of
to
it.
yourself. My
As
boy,
you can hear,
Big
Bakari's
Man.
already on 10.
Oh,
So
my
again,
God.
I'm your host, Anthony Jones, today. To my right, I got my brother.
We are in the building, Mr. Shaka Andrew.
And
Yes,
to my
sir.
left, I got my other brother.
You know, Clark Kent, a.k.a. Bakari Andrew with the Superman socks, ready to go.
I'm the only one repping Pops.
Ready
today.
to go.
Like,
You got
What's
the
wrong with that stale cereal?
hey, Pops
That's
is jumping.
That cereal come out the bag stale.
Nah, man.
You're hockey disrespectful right now.
You are a hockey disrespect.
First of all, Pops is trash.
What?
Pops is trash.
How are they trash?
Bro, you like Raisin Bread. That's all I hear about trash.
Raisin Man got more flavor than
Stop.
Pops. Than Pops.
You lying?
He
to
likes
your
Raisin
face.
Bread.
You right? You lying?
Pops.
To your face.
Yeah.
Pops.
Bakari,
There's sugar filled. Not
Yeah,
sugar
what is it,
filled.
Shaq?
It's,
Ain't
it,
nothing
it
but
got
corn.
sugar on it. No,
I really
It's
don't know what
corn.
is a pop.
It's popcorn with sugar
Big
coated
lump
around
of
it.
knobs.
Nah.
That's what it is.
It's cold. Oh my goodness!
Somebody
Again,
like Pops like
thank
that.
y'all for tuning in
Pops is
with
fire.
us. Like you said, as you can already see, we are already on 10.
Hey, man. We out
Again,
here.
I can't remember which episode this is.
We're going to say 28.
28,
39.
I don't know.
30.
30?
I think it's 30.
It's 29, 30.
It's 30?
One of those.
Hey,
You'll see it in the
it's
title.
just- you'll see it in the title. We'll figure it out.
30.
Hey, but I was want to ask y'all. So, how's y'all's weeks been so far?
You know what? Since it's the end of January,
Yeah.
my basketball season's going pretty well, man. These kids are
Hey.
accelerating. They're
Hey,
loving life.
hey.
You know
That's what
I'm
I'm talking
saying? They out here making basketball shots. To be technical, the basketball season ain't started at the time we recorded this, but by the time y'all watch this,
And
my season will have been going.
Technically,
for
by
about
the time
a
this
week or
airs, this day after my birthday, though.
so. It's
Hey,
after your birthday. Hey,
yeah.
Anthony, man, how was your birthday, man?
Shout out.
Look, I don't know, I haven't happy yet.
Nah, man. Speaking
We
of
can't be
tunes,
doing that,
it was.
My mind,
My
my mind
mind
out
is
here
blown.
going crazy. There's a lot of things that's going to happen.
Hey, my birthday.
Time.
I'm gonna say it already. It's been fantastic.
we got lit,
Hey.
didn't we?
Huh?
We got lit, didn't we?
Whoa,
Hey,
lit.
but
We
listen,
lit.
Listen,
Shot.
a lit
This
weekend
man
for
shot
me.
with
and
an
dinner.
83
What
years.
does lit mean to you then?
Look, the when I think of the definition of lit,
Uh-huh.
I think of like drinking and partying,
Oh,
whatever.
word? That's
but
what
if you're
lit
asking me, like, did I have a good birthday of like going out to dinner,
Yeah.
hanging out with some friends, maybe playing the game or whatever?
Hey.
I'm good.
There we go. So that's that. I'm lit. I'm literature. That's why I thought I was gonna read a book.
Literature. I like that.
literature. You know what I'm saying?
But Bakari, how's your week been, brother?
Hey, I guess if we speaking on this week,
yeah.
Hey, if in the future,
I had a baby.
Hey,
I guess by the time the next one.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself, brother.
Go ahead and tell us the name, man.
Bow.
What's the name of the baby?
So the name of the baby, you'll find out whenever it comes out.
How, brother? It's already out though. You already said it's already here.
Yeah, the baby's been here for about a good 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
You don't know the name of your baby?
You dang.
I don't.
How's your baby doing?
I don't.
Man?
You don't know
How
that.
your baby doing?
My baby, look, blessed and highly favored.
As y'all can see, we over here.
Blessed and highly favored. Let's
We
not
over
try
here.
to think too much into that, man.
Bakari.
Let's try to blow your temple out your head.
All right, so
But
as you can see, Bakari is he's highly agitated today, only for the fact because
I didn't get to speak on our basketball team though.
no, so my bad, my bad.
Because the thing is,
Oh,
I told y'all last
Here we
time
go.
we did lose our basketball game.
Here we
Blow
go.
it
I
out.
told y'all we was coming back for vengeance.
Right.
And look here, hey, we finally got our first dub in. It was our second game.
Second game.
Look, got
That
the
happened 2
dub
weeks
in.
ago.
Hey, 24-1, shut it down.
Tell
I'm
him
talking
he's not
about
right.
defense.
Chuck is not
Look, defense was impeccable.
Was 24-1?
24-1 out here.
Hey, clamps. Y'all had the clamps
Hey,
on
we
these poor
had
kids.
it though.
So how many
Impregnables.
how many
what
games
Tyson
have you?
said.
How many games have you won since then?
I know.
Speaking to
We
existence.
still practicing though. We still practicing.
Speaking to existence right now.
Yeah, man.
But I say,
Y'all
how many
3
games,
and
how many
1.
games are we gonna win?
Now, how many games have you won up until this very moment? At the time this episode drops.
Oh, we haven't lost yet. Besides that one,
All right,
So
man.
you lost. So it's
That's
one.
all like
yeah,
you
we
want.
just lost one.
All right, I
There
like
we
that. I
go.
like that.
So we're gonna take over. Also, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and y'all let me know how y'all like that. How y'all like the picture I posted of all my players with their jerseys. That way,
Yeah, then pops
Like
and
I
socks
said,
go crazy on the
y'all
back.
did that. Y'all did that
Yeah,
as
big shout
fans,
out.
my compression
people.
fans. Y'all did
The
that work.
people.
Yeah.
The
All right.
people.
But
The
let's kick it off to the people. Though.
All right. So again,
What we talking
we
about?
were already
talking about?
speaking about conspiracy theories and all that other stuff this morning, and different stuff like that. So I've already established Bakari. If you haven't noticed already in our show, he's the one, which is a good thing. You need a disruptor in the group. Somebody's gonna ask tough questions.
Somebody's gonna
Now,
challenge.
He likes to challenge it. However, sometimes on his challenge, he don't want to fall through either.
Absolutely.
So
not.
if you remember our previous episode ago, we got to talking about how much is PDA. That's what episode PDA. Where's the right place, right time? Bakari is still convinced that you should be able to kiss your wife in the middle of church.
You should.
You should,
But you should.
But
and
you-
the reason
but
why,
have
the
you,
reason
though?
why I have not yet.
Okay.
But I plan on doing that.
That's
Reason
sound
why-
like- that sound like
because
sabotage right
the
there.
world makes it feel
Now
that
the
it
world, this is the bot.
is, not the world, society. Society says you shouldn't kiss your wife in public. But the thing
not
is,
in public, in church.
Oh, in church, okay, man, bump that public church. What's the church? We are the church.
We are-
so therefore,
right, we are the body.
Don't-
so
do
you
not
mean
get
tell
the
me
two
we
confused.
can't
Do
we
not
can't
get the two
kiss
confused.
we
Right.
can't kiss our we can't kiss our basically society is saying we can't kiss our wife in the building that we go to. What's the difference between
It's-
that building
'cause it's inappropriate.
and your house or that I'll say your house. What's the difference between that building
My
and
privacy.
Walmart?
Right.
My private.
There's different types of love.
What's the difference between that
You
building
showing that arrow
and Walmart?
love.
And Walmart,
And Walmart.
strangers.
Strangers in the church. You don't know everybody that comes in church.
Oh,
You might know everybody. that comes
You
in
don't.
church.
You don't. You
You don't know everybody that comes in
Wow.
church.
You don't know everybody. You don't know everybody to go to your church. Yeah, y'all not that close.
I
There's
know
a lot of people in there.
First of all, we don't get on that topic.
No,
No, you don't know the people that go to your church.
Bakari don't know him.
I don't know. I can't name everybody. Like I,
I
said,
thought y'all was a
name
church
for name.
family.
We are
We
church
go out,
family.
go axe throwing.
Look, everybody
Everybody
that's in
your
it.
members.
Everybody
I
who
get to
believe-
know your members.
Everybody-
Ain't you clergy? Ain't you clergy?
Like everybody.
Ain't you deacon? Ain't you a deacon?
Like, I ain't a deacon.
Oh,
Don't you
my
got the shawl?
First of all, I ain't a
They
deacon.
get to know your people.
You gotta work to be a
A
deacon.
principal
out here.
knows all his students.
Oh my god.
I ain't a principal.
You are the principal.
I'm not a principal.
You up there?
I'm not up
Oh
there.
my gosh.
I'm there. I'm not up there.
Shaka say that
You up
because
there, man.
his church got 8 people that go to it, and they
It's all right.
You know everybody.
Shaka
Look,
Y'all not going to keep talking about God's children, all right?
Shaka got to play the drums, the tambourine.
I
They're
gotta be
preaching
on
the
time.
same service.
Y'all not going to keep talking about my wonderful church, the household of faith community
I ain't
church.
saying there's nothing wrong.
I didn't say
with it.
nothing
I'm just
wrong.
saying
Nah,
it's a
man.
lot of-
We all been there.
You not.
It's a lot
Shout out
of
to
people
Mr.
at the
Knopfler.
church. Like I said, we have about what? I say 200.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to sit there and know everybody. And plus, when you get new people come through, they're going to be strangers.
You know more people than you don't know at your church.
I think so.
I know more people. But I
don't know how we got here,
time.
but yeah, Bakari.
So what's the difference between church and Walmart, though?
Everybody is pretty much a stranger at Walmart.
You're not praying to the Lord, and
so you can't have church at Walmart.
You can, but
you're
you're not praying
communication.
But it's not you don't. But you don't assemble specifically at Walmart to have church.
It's not the purpose.
It's not the purpose. Where God flows at. So if everybody gets,
it's God. You say yes. It is where we are the body. We are necessarily the church. But
keep going.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying this is a whole tangent.
Yeah.
Between church and Walmart. You go to church for one reason, like Anthony said. You go to Walmart for a whole another reason.
But you can have church at Walmart, though.
You can.
Okay, you can have Walmart at church. Act like you don't go to church and buy stuff. Can you not?
Yeah, you can.
I think.
I got a t-shirt I bought at Elevation.
I'm pretty sure y'all be
what
selling.
What do you buy at our church?
Do you sell food?
That's what I'm talking about at our church.
Do we not sell food?
Huh?
Do you not sell food?
No, not at church. On Wednesdays, Bible study. That's not church. That's different.
Dang.
Okay, so now the church is only church on Sunday.
No, you got Bible study and you have church.
Is it still inside the building?
Yes.
Do you sell stuff inside the building?
Yes, you do.
I think. Can you get to your original message, please?
Yeah, the original message. Look, the original message is this: you should be allowed to kiss in church. Why? And like I said, why not? Is because the society has determined it is uncomfortable. And I'm making them. You got too big of a list to be doing that. Look, society has determined that we should not be able to kiss in church.
I don't think society has said that.
No, society.
Society
don't talk, but it's
society technically
speaks speaking.
Society basically tells you don't go to church, let alone they don't care if you kiss.
It says you cannot kiss because why don't you kiss then? Because it has been taught.
No,
it has been taught through years.
No,
that it is.
If I walk,
then why don't you kiss in church?
Because we don't.
Why not? What has told you that you should not kiss in church?
Common decency told me that I should.
Common decency. So why don't you have the common decency in front of other people in Walmart not to kiss? Why do you not have the common decency to sit there and not kiss? Look, why do you? So once again, if you're out in public at a park and you kiss your wife out in public, common decency, show some common decency to the people that's around you.
I'm sorry, if you're sitting next to a stranger at church and y'all already elbow to elbow,
but you act like we live like you act like we out here French kissing.
Bro, you're not gonna make that make sense.
It's like almost like a peck.
Stop,
honey.
Stop.
I love you.
Stop,
honey. I love you.
Okay, so you can do that in the vestibule.
The vestibule.
Yeah, in the vestibule.
So okay,
do that outside the
not the worship, not the sanctuary.
Okay, so
timing, brother.
Here's where the confusion is with us. Y'all think that I'm talking about kissing while pastor's preaching?
No, I'm thinking
I'm talking about like kissing, like I said in the like you said, the vestibule. Vestibule, whatever it is. Vestibule.
This is fun words to say. Vestibule.
So I'm talking about like kissing out there. Where you communicate with people, not in the actual church while
in the sanctuary.
Yeah, the sanctuary while pastor's preaching. Yes,
you didn't
don't do that.
You didn't say that.
That's what I said. So that's where the confusion is coming at.
So you. I mean, I understand if you're walking through the door. All right, I have to go and help serve otherwise. Bye. All right, I'll see you after service, and you do something like that. That makes sense. But I'm thinking if you're randomly, so our church is set up. There's like a common area where everybody can drink coffee or whatever. If you're drinking coffee or whatever, all right, Sony, I'll see you in this minute. Yeah, you gotta give her a kiss.
So what if the pastor says, "Hey, husband, I want all the husbands look at your wife, all the wives look at your husbands, and I want you to give him a kiss." Is that okay?
I think it's probably in the wrong place. Inappropriate.
It's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. So
how?
Hold on.
Let me give you the story behind that.
Oh my God.
So when the pastor sat there and had the husbands renew their vows, and we all kissed our wives together.
I'm pretty sure
that was standing up in front of.
It was standing up. In front
okay,
of
so that was something planned. That was something.
But so if he told everybody to all the husbands look at their wives, and all the wives look at their husbands,
you don't have to do that. No,
you don't have to. But I did. I chose to. It wasn't uncomfortable for me.
That's for you, then, man.
Okay, so
our viewpoints are different then.
But okay,
so because how you view the situation doesn't make it wrong. How I view Pastor
Booker, please tell all the husbands and wives to kiss each other at your church.
I hope you do. I hope you do.
I want to change. Pastors, please stop telling us to look at our neighbors. All right, for all the introverts out there, we don't like looking at neighbors.
How you just say no?
I don't want to.
You don't love your neighbor.
I don't like looking.
You don't love your neighbor.
Who said I don't?
He's out here for the word. He said, reach your neighbor, pat him 3 times.
Exactly.
You ain't got no neighbor.
All kind of neighbors. I got all kind of neighbors. All right. At least I know my neighbors.
You got
I know my neighbors.
That's
All right.
what Shaka mad about.
I know.
He look to the
No.
left.
Well, even when you go to
That
big
Pew Evans, he was
churches,
right. Not a
when you
neighbor
go-
in sight.
listen. You know what? That's all white.
Oh my gosh.
But even when
That
you go,
Dr. Seuss.
when you go to big churches, I want you to stand up and I want you to go hug 3 people across the aisle that you've never seen before. For all of our
community.
introverts, that is not.
Suck
that's
it
not-
up.
that's
You'll
not
be
what-
all right.
Like
no,
you
it's
said
not-
about
it's
the
not
kissing,
suck
you
it
don't
up.
have to.
You don't really
It's
have
not
to.
sucking it up.
It's
You don't really have
your
to be
opinion.
honest.
I mean, it's your option.
Because y'all want to be the same people that want to get on people for how they worship. Why don't they
How?
get up
Who
and
gets
worship?
on people for how they
I'm just saying,
worship?
Y'all be doing your Pharisees
Who?
and Sadducees.
How?
Who? How
You
you
out here? Nah, man. If
We
you
don't be forcing
if you
people
don't
to the
put your
front.
hands up and smell your Old Spice under your arms, you ain't
But you don't have
worshiping.
to. You don't
said-
have to.
who
do
said
that.
anything?
saying
Your
this?
worship
Nobody
is how
said
you
that.
Put that
worship.
on y'all.
Nobody ever. You've never
I'm
heard
putting y'all
anybody
on-
like that say
nah,
that.
man. I heard
You-
y'all be y'all
What-
be
what-
talking.
You come
How
at the wrong
long-
one shot.
You be talking, man.
You gotta deal with your own
I-
demons on that
That's
one.
what it sounded like.
It
It
sound
sounded
like
like
he-
you was triggered about something.
It sounded like he was forced to put his hands
Yeah,
up.
we-
No, no,
And he was forced to. Hey,
Listen.
shot, we need you to come up here and sing a song.
There
Yeah, that's where
are
that comes from.
1,000 different ways to worship. All right.
And our
you have
church
never.
accepts all those.
I
Literally.
hope so.
However
Why
you want
would
to
I
worship,
hope so.
Why
worship
wouldn't
however
we?
you want to.
I
But if you
hope
want to come
so.
to the front, sit at your
But back
seat.
to what we was originally talking about, pastors. Is all I'm saying is it's awkward for introverts to get up and go across the pews and
So
aisles.
you
mean
don't
tell me
have to.
So the extroverts have to suffer?
Why is it suffering? It's not suffering if you
Well, not
enjoy
suffer.
it.
So the extroverts don't get to do that. So
You
mean
can.
You're just going to cut it off because of one person feels uncomfortable.
No, why would I didn't say cut it off.
You said stop doing that.
You said stop.
Well, it feels
Word for word.
forced.
I can re-
It
we can
feels
rewind
for-
this.
It feels forced.
But
I
why'd
will
you say
that.
okay? So you
Then
should
why-
say stop.
Okay,
Feels
so let me guess. So you feel the pressure.
I want you. No,
You feel the pressure
I
that
don't
you
mind
have
it.
to-
I don't mind it
Then what
Then what
are
are
you
you talking
talking?
because there are introverts out there.
Hey,
There are. I'm speaking
Come
up.
on.
I'm speaking up for the intro.
What you mean?
I was talking
Talking about,
about.
it don't bother me.
So I can't speak up for the low and depressed. That's not like me.
Okay,
Not
but
so
no,
everybody got to be
you
like me
shouldn't
now.
say cut it off or stop doing that.
All I'm
you
saying
should just
is
say it does make it awkward.
It makes people feel uncomfortable.
Hey man, send a text message to your neighbor and tell them that you love them. You know what?
So that means you gotta get their number.
You gotta ask
You
them for the
Now you
number.
create a whole different situation.
I
Yes.
love it. I love it. All right. All I'm saying is not everybody wants to get up and shake hands with their neighbors.
All
Not
right.
everybody want to kiss.
And
in
they don't
church.
ask most. Or at least our church
Nobody wants
doesn't
to
do
kiss in
that.
the middle of
Our
service.
church doesn't do that every Sunday or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah, no. It's one of those like from time to time. I feel like pastor like, all right, why on your way back after you do the offering, say hi to 3 people on your way back to your seat, and then some people's like, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah, and then we're going back.
Y'all do that every time?
No, not every time.
Okay, let's make sure.
Also, and again, Bakari, keep your lips to yourself in service.
Hey man.
Anywho,
Nah, man,
Please
forget y'all.
and thank-
The only
nah,
thing is,
man.
like I said, y'all just make it feel weird out here. It's not weird.
nah,
It's what you know. That's the thing. It's off what you experience and what you
my
know.
thing. So you can't. So my question is, you
So
can't
therefore,
keep your
if you
lips
know-
off.
if
You
you
can't
feel
keep your
like
lips
you
off
know-
your wife for 1 hour.
Huh?
You can't keep your lips off your wife for 1 hour.
My wife is that sexy. Nope,
Look.
I can't, baby.
That
Bakari,
sounds.
that's
That's
you literally.
when I
sounds
get
like-
home,
You literally just agreed and said you shouldn't kiss your wife in the middle of service, but it's okay to do it in the vestibule.
no, I'm saying, if the pastor says,
Nah,
Kiss your wife.
we were talking before the podcast. Hey, the pastor's up there giving a message.
you
I
know
might
what?
lean over.
Hey,
That's what he
Pastor.
said.
I
Hey,
promise
dog.
you right now.
Hey,
That's
what
dog,
he
that
said.
really speaks to me,
Everybody
dog.
at my
Whoa.
church,
Like,
everybody.
that's what he. That's what he said.
dog.
What he say?
I
I
love
love
you
you too, dog.
I love you too, dog.
Like, I kiss another man out here.
Let's get married, man.
Nah, man, look here. I promise you. Y'all better be ready. Look, I'm coming.
He ain't gonna do it.
I'm coming to the church.
Also, the same man that he said he's not getting his kids more gifts for Christmas.
Because I'm
anymore.
not.
All right.
I'm giving them a gift of experience.
You're not going to give your kids
And
gift, but you're
marry-
going to give them the
I want to
gift.
say. I want to
Huh?
hold him to it.
Huh?
I want to hold him to it.
Giving your kid the gift of experience is still a gift.
Why-
It is a gift too.
Okay,
too.
but
Don't-
it's
don't-
not-
don't give them any
it's not.
experiences.
It's not a physical gift. I'm giving them something that they can have up here for a lifetime.
I don't-
an experience of a viewpoint, experience.
You'll get
of
him at
more
least.
knowledge.
You'll get him at least one gift.
Oh, we know we will.
I know he'll
Yeah,
give
they're
him.
gonna,
already
they gonna get your light bill wrapped up.
They ain't gonna
Paid.
Nah.
Hey,
They
babe.
gonna, they gonna get the internet wrapped up, paid.
Look, that's what
They ain't
about.
gonna do that.
They gonna get the rent. They gonna get the rent paid. Yeah, gonna unwrap those.
Yeah, go ahead.
that's over a couple $1,000s worth of bills right
Blessings
there.
on blessings on blessings.
Respect it.
All right, let's get to the main point we're talking about out here. I don't know.
Potatoes.
We spent 20 minutes arguing over with Bakari, but the meat and potatoes of today's episode that I think we said we want to address is, or as Bakari brought it to our attention, what were, for our married folk, and this helps with our single folk too. What Bakari? I'm gonna start with. No, I'm gonna start with Shaka.
Start Bakari.
Sorry, Bakari. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bakari.
Yeah,
what were your expectations before marriage about marriage?
All right. So before marriage, I guess before I got married, I thought, like I said,
Meet me
I thought I
at
said
the
this a
altar
couple
in a
episodes ago. I might not, but if I didn't, I'll start now. My viewpoint of marriage was the husband is supposed to work. You're supposed to have kids. And then after you have kids, the wife is supposed to be at the house chilling, relaxing, attending to the babies, attending to the husband by having a nice home-cooked meal.
Okay.
If your wife can cook. My wife has been upgrading on her meals though. When I first met her, she was making the Alfredos out the rip pack.
What?
That had the noodles and the powder in there. You just gotta add some butter and milk.
That was that chicken out.
Buttermilk and water.
Hey, I would say Brittany has come a long way cooking.
So I would say my wife has upgraded like Beyonce, and now she's making different meals. She knows how to make chicken.
Don't do that to her.
Baked chicken. She do have some seasoning though.
Don't do that.
She have some seasoning though.
Don't do that to her.
Like she hitting the salt.
Listen.
She a little too much salt sometimes. Look here, my baby out here cooking. Look,
she ain't gonna watch the episode. She don't know.
She don't deserve this slander right now.
Nah, I ain't slander. I'm just saying she upgraded though, because through marriage we all change and we upgrade. So I thought, like I said, I thought that was my opinion of marriage, that she's supposed to attend to the kids, attend to her husband, make sure the house is clean, make sure the clothes is put out for the kids. You know, basically all the housework. I was supposed to come home making the big bucks and getting back in my lazy boy.
And
how was your day, honey?
And have put your slippers on.
Yeah, look. Look, I thought I was supposed to come home. Like I said, all right, baby, here's the money. Go ahead and pay everything. I come home, relax. Hey, kids, how you doing? Everybody come around to me. Daddy's home. I wanted that.
Daddy's home.
That was my viewpoint of marriage before I got married.
Okay, before we got married, we're gonna come back.
Jesus,
and we're gonna swing back around. We'll eventually get to there. Of what was real talk. What have been your expectation? What has been your reality of marriage so far? Shaka, what was your expectations before you got married?
Before I got married,
I was 19.
19, bro. I was out of college.
Yeah, so
Shonda was out of college for a whole entire year. We were pretty young, but because we were high school sweethearts, we really got to know each other really, really well. So my viewpoint before marriage, I really didn't have any viewpoints because my mom wasn't married. So the only view of marriage that I had was from TV shows that I watched.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So what I did was take my favorite sitcom, Black Dad, the Huxtables.
Trash.
The Cows.
Hey,
Cows. Sprinkle with a little Bernie Mac in there.
Hey, who you
with? So what I did was legit take like a combination of those three dads and a couple more and say, how can you make your marriage unique between you and LaShonda? So I really didn't go in with expectations like you, Bakari, thinking that my wife is going to do this, my wife is going to do that, because I had known my wife for probably 2015. I probably known her for almost 10 years before we got married, but the people that we were in high school were two totally different people that we were by the time we got married. So going into marriage, we had already lived together for a year, so we kind of got to know each other pretty well. But I think our start was, you know what? You don't have to cook every night. For us, it was whoever's wanting to cook that night, you go ahead and cook. As far as kids, we didn't want any kids for a very long time. So we told ourselves, hey, let's wait having kids. Let's just enjoy each other.
Facts.
My expectation was that we will just live civil and we will be a team. That's all I wanted in marriage is, we got to become
ruined
a
that.
team.
Ruined.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really it. Going into marriage is I wanted to be the provider, and I just wanted my wife to know that she was safe 100% of the time when she's around me. Even when she's not around me, she can feel safety in her husband's presence. When she's at work, whether she's at school, whether she's at Walmart, in church, that she has her husband's security, and she is my prize and my gift. That was my expectation before marriage.
Dang, I don't know how to follow that up. That was great. How you look?
Now I gotta sit there and deal. A lot of husbands I gotta deal with their wives now. Hey, man, what was your expectation? And it better be like Shaka's too.
Wow.
I would try, but don't have no high regard for mine out here. So I'm currently not married. Not married yet. But I guess my expectation, I guess I can say not current, but I realized I had to really ask myself hard questions of like, are you ready to get, not just, am I ready to get married? Yeah. What does truly marriage really look like? I know we create some type of fantasy sometime in your mind, but again, the more I hang out with you guys, the more I really see the day to day, that fantasy, not in a bad way, goes away, but I can like, okay, are you really ready for these type of things? Yeah. But before, I guess some of the expectations were, or I guess my current expectation is, like you said, knowing my wife, can she feel safe and secure with my presence being there all the time, not just physically, but emotionally when she's not there or when she's not in my presence. I did want, like I said, I've been doing this thing so long by yourself, just like I said, a helper, somebody who can from time to time help cook, Lord Jesus, or help provide. Listen, that's the worst thing. I told you I said this before. I hate the downside about being single is you have to cook every single night. Or pick up something to eat. Lord Jesus, I can't stand that. My love language is one part of my love with acts of service. If you are willing to be like, hey, I can go grab something to eat, or I can start dinner. Look, you know what? You might be the one. You might be the one.
I'm 100% acts of service.
Yes. Mine is my love language is words of affirmation and acts of service are my big two. Yeah. But expectation wise, that the husband is a provider, not sole provider, but I feel like if my wife wants to work, she can, and she has the option to work. Meaning, like, let's say if she's just having a hard time maybe at her job, hey, if you want to, I got enough to support us. You take care of me, I'll take care of us. You know what?
Boom. Sounds good.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Sounds amazing. But right now, there's inflation going up. Listen, we're gonna look. You have to suck it up. I'm just kidding.
Out here.
But I think
every month.
Like I said, somebody that is a joy for your home, for your children to look up and to want to model after. Not just I think that goes on both parents, but that's what would have been my expectation. Naturally, somebody who knows how to cook, Lord Jesus, because nothing's worse if somebody doesn't know how to cook.
That'll grow.
It'll grow. I hope
Personal
so.
Experience.
Look, I felt that.
Hello, chef.
Hello, chef. Chef Backery out here. But knows how to cook. Then I think my expectation was too that we will constantly try our best to not evolve our relationship, but keep our relationship alive and make, in the sense of constantly pursuing each other. I don't know, pursuing can mean doing everything. Like, it could be date nights, it could be time alone, or other versions of intimacy. I don't mean that sexually or anything like that. I just mean like, you know,
you can mean sexually too, man.
I mean that too.
That's part of marriage.
That is part of marriage. I thought that goes. That's one of those things.
Praise God, though. Look.
I thought I was saying without saying.
Open the flood.
Chill. Go back.
Look, you're right. That's what I said.
That song talking about. Bring it back, brother.
But I just meant like if she likes reading, we find different things like that to grow together and build on those. So that's been my expectation going in so far. But what has been, I was flipping it real bit.
Wait, before you ask that second part of the question, I want to frame something big that I forgot to mention when I was explaining my expectation.
Go ahead.
Nah, man, because y'all be going off to these soliloquies.
Shaka don't really say, look, poor Shaka.
I'll be over here thinking, I want to say something. So I'm going to say it. One thing that really formed my expectation of marriage before we got married was the relationship that LaShonda had with her dad. So her growing up being so close to her father and me growing
kicked out to the curb
and me growing up with my mother always explaining to me, hey man, do good by all people. Don't make fun. She used that. Don't make fun of nobody else's kids because we ain't had kids yet. Or-
I literally heard your mother's voice
Yep.
in my mind when
that.
you said that.
Hate
Yeah.
when they say that.
Hey, so listen.
Think back at all the people.
So it was that, and it was watch how you treat women because one day you might have a daughter, and that stuck with me as a kid. So that's why I have always been very, very respectful towards women, but especially because LaShonda is super close with her dad, and I knew that me marrying her meant that I was taking her off of his hands. And when I say I took that serious, even to this day, I can get emotional to talk about it because I'm like,
Go ahead.
such a close relationship that I'm like, I'm going to take care of this woman forever. And I'm going to love her forever. Just the same that I would want somebody to do for my baby girl Zola.
Now, first
You
of
know
all,
what I'm
that's a
saying?
mind-blowing
I
concept.
wish I had that. I was so immature
Same
at
thing.
that age to where I
Yeah.
wasn't even thinking about that. I ain't thinking about nobody's daughter or nothing like that. And I am thankful God did not punish me in such a harsh way because He says I will bless those who bless you.
Boom.
And I will not do evil, but I will sit there and
curse those who curse you.
Curse those
Don't
who
be
curse
cursing
you.
people, no.
So I prayed. I thank Jesus for dying on the cross for my sins. I'm gonna say that first and foremost
Amen.
because
Yeah.
He saved me. Look, He saved me from a lot of
Give me a second.
A lot of heartache.
mayhem and carnage
Yeah.
that God wanted to sit there and put upon me for my stupid decisions. But
A lot of that probably came from
truthfully, that's
me being a big
maturity.
brother.
I mean, yeah. And I think a lot of my
Big
decisions
brother-
came from me
big
being
brother,
the
little
younger
brother.
brother. Look
Yeah.
at a big brother. I'm talking, bro. When I say I looked at you like you was almost like the
on,
Jesus
man.
Christ. of
Yeah.
my house.
Nah, I ain't no Jesus Christ.
That's what I
Shaka
know
can't
you-
do wrong.
That's what it felt like. I felt like he was
Shaka
like
was
the
our-
Jesus Christ.
Shaka
of the
was our
house.
holy friend that we be like, if Shaka failed, we're doomed. We have no hope.
Nah,
Like
man.
LaShawn
Nah,
was
man.
that. LaShawn was that. What is it? The brother who got all
The
got
brother?
all his earnings.
Oh, the prodigal son?
Yeah, the prodigal
And dipped.
son, and
Really?
dipped.
That's because she was older.
Shaka was like
She's a whole
Jesus Christ
decade
in there.
above.
It was like, yo, like
But that's because my mom
I'm
preached
about
to me growing up.
I'm about to be Cain
Listen,
out
my
here.
mom,
Yeah,
my mom,
Bakari's Cain. That was perfect
about to
analogy.
Cain out.
You had Cain and you had Jesus in the household. And Bakari, we'll talk about it later,
Oh,
different
God.
maybe this
Yeah.
episode of Bakari admitted that he had at one point like resentment for his brother
Yeah.
because
Oh,
he
yeah.
felt like he viewed him in this light. But I mean, to not get so sidetracked and taken off guard,
Yeah.
but to add what you said,
Uh-huh.
I grew up in predominantly house full of women.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, again, I threw up my mother, my sister, and my two cousins. When they grew up, when I remember like growing up, and my other sister too. But it wasn't like you said. And the Lord, like Bakari said, thank God and Lord forgive me of all the stupid decision stuff that I made. I wasn't out here hitting or beating women,
Yes,
but I
Father.
didn't take in consideration that one day I might become a father of a daughter, but also that one day, and nobody ever taught to me. I never seen it before, modeled
Yeah.
before either. Marriage, of how do you treat a woman,
Sheesh.
how you should talk. If anything, I hate to say it, I kind of learned, not in the wrong way, schematically game plans of this is what women really think. Because I grew up with women, this is how they kind of act. This is their hygiene. This is bananas because it's
wild.
crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of women.
That is oh my gosh.
Already-
you
already-
could-
already
you
get it.
don't even know.
I already know. That,
It is bananas. But like you said, I wish, like you said, I thank the Lord one day because I might have I might have more children. But like you said, it never occurred to me that one time, maybe more I mature, that I'm gonna have to take somebody. This is somebody's a dad as a father.
Yeah.
And we know this, and even that we go back to marriage in the biblical sense, is that he gives his most precious gift of his daughter to you. Now, this is solely your responsibility to love and nurture her, and like you said, you take that very seriously.
That is.
And I guess my immaturity, I never thought that far ahead,
Yeah.
or thought that in the aspect. Probably dated a lot of women with daddy issues in the first place, so I guess I was able to fill that role as not in the sense, but like, let's just be real.
Yeah.
He was able to kind of fantasize and act some other stuff that were inappropriate out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just like so we call it what it is.
Super funky, absolutely.
So to you to say that and know that I get now is like, dang, Lord, thank you for covering my sins, Lord Jesus, and thank you, Lord, for forgiving me of those sins.
Yes.
But Lord Jesus, help me nurture and love one day somebody else's daughter, how I would want somebody to treat mine. It was a golden.
most
I told Isaiah
definitely.
yesterday the golden rule. We say the golden rule like it's in school, but we know it's from the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Which is they try to keep school and church. But anyway, it's look. Jesus said the law is all summed up into treat others how you want to be treated
We need to get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance and just say the golden rule
every day.
morning.
It's just based. Maybe it's one that's just
Simple
treat
as that.
other people how you want to be treated. If you want to be spit on and kicked on, that makes sense,
Expected in return.
right? But if you want to be loved and respected in like that in the same place, that's exactly what it comes from.
Measure
But
that you give it out would be how you will be measured.
preach, preacher.
Bow. Let's hit that segment.
All right, so
That was a good
transition
one.
real fast, but Shaka.
Hey,
We'll start with.
throw it in there.
My fact, we'll start with Shaka. Yeah, we'll start with Shaka. What
Yeah.
has been your current reality or expectations of marriage, or not expect? Yeah, what is your current reality of marriage compared to your expectations?
What's that Jonathan McReynolds song will probably sum it up best? Psycho.
Cycle.
Didn't I conquer this
last year?
Oh man,
I don't even know what y'all singing.
What? You gotta listen to it. It's
Keep going, shot.
It's
great.
a good song.
It's great.
Keep going, Shaq.
So listen, marriage comes and goes in cycles and seasons. And the person you know now may not be the same person you know next month. All right? Or you can know a person for years and they may not change, and they'll change a year and just make a whole entire life transition. So it's being able, marriage is about being able to love every version of your wife. Simple as that. That's my reality. Because pregnant LaShonda is vastly different from not pregnant LaShonda.
Preach, brother.
High school LaShonda is vastly different than married LaShonda at 30. I have a 30-year-old wife. That's wild records. You still young, baby. But it's loving my wife through every cycle, everything that she changes with, and loving her future selves. So that's my reality right now, and knowing that marriage has legit taken 100% teamwork. And I'm not trying to give no fluffy answer because I'm reading Kevin Sage's book, Marriage Be Hard.
Marriage be hard.
And when I say marriage be hard, marriage be hard. Literally, because there's so many. Literally, everybody that you meet, right, starts out as a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife was at one point a very stranger. You didn't know anything about her until you sat down and got to know, and you nitpicked and you got detailed information about who this stranger is that you're going to be sharing germs with for the rest of your life.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to boil down. What my current expectation of marriage is teamwork, it's communication be hard, and it's loving every version of your spouse, whether you're married to a man,
Choosing them
woman,
daily.
don't matter. Gotta love them daily.
All right,
And you
Bakari.
gotta die
I
daily.
like that.
You gotta die. Listen, that's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go. Before I go, Bakari, go ahead and chime into yours. What has been your reality of marriage so far?
If I had to put it into perspective,
Oh, so I'm to ask you too, Shaka. How long you been married?
Put me on the spot like that. 7 years.
7 years. Okay. I just want the people to get like a different like context of
Yeah.
how long we've been married, how long you guys been married, etc. Sorry,
so
Bakari.
mine will be 5 years
Hey.
this year in August. But right
Do
now we've been
you
married,
know
4 years,
what
which is crazy.
today is?
But my expectations of marriage, I said how I can put it is like shoots and ladders.
I
Shoot.
like it. I
So
like that. I see it.
I got, like I said, my wife. Like I said, sometimes I roll the dice and my wife moves, or sometimes I roll the dice and no, sometimes my wife rolls the dice and I move, or sometimes I roll the dice and my wife. I said it twice.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
But
Okay.
you know what I mean.
I
though.
got it, bro.
But as in the
got
sense
you.
of you're going through life trying to get to the top, and sometimes God will accelerate you somewhere together. And the thing is, He never accelerates you separately. When you move up, she moves up. So y'all just one piece. So sometimes you will, go through life and you have to take it step by step. Or sometimes this part of life, God will accelerate you. And there's some times where you might have to actually go back because you skipped a step. So God might sit there and send you back down. So my viewpoint is shoot some ladders. Because you have to go through it together. It's going to be ups. It's going to be downs. Like I said, everything that I thought marriage was not. I realized, like I said, it's a give and go. So, it takes a lot of sacrificing. And like even what I'm doing today or this year, I say not today, even what I'm doing like this year, I've been, as when Shaka said, diving in more into books. And I've been reading more on, like I said, philosophy books, critical thinking, faith-based books, like I said, marriage books, basically on how I can change myself. Because even though we are one, like I said, we can't be one. Like I said, we can't be one if one half has a stroke.
Yeah.
As until if I have, like I said, a person who has a stroke, their right side shuts down. So if we're one body and I shut down, she can't fully function, or we can't fully function in the way that God has for us. So me trying to better myself in return helps the whole body out. So like I said, my marriage experience now is a lot different, but also, like I said, it's growth.
It is growth.
Every day you're going to be offended in some way, shape, or form. Whether if you ask a question and you don't get the response back that you want, offended. But you got to learn to deal with those things, though.
Absolutely.
And like for the people,
absolutely.
Like like I said, during my marriage, we went through a lot. But the people that just sit there and give up as in to get a divorce, like, and I understand there's certain circumstances, and we definitely discussed that last time.
Yeah.
But for the ones who just, y'all argue too much, so y'all get a divorce, then what gives you the right just to quit?
Certain people just ain't meant to be together.
Well, that too.
It's not meant to be I don't think it's not meant to be together, because
how hard are you willing to fight for it? That's really the question.
When you choose that person, obviously you seen something in that person when you said, because you're not gonna marry somebody that's treating you terrible, that's beating you that same day.
But people will also get married for the glitz and the glam.
Yeah, literally, that is crazy. Like, people literally, like, there's a show we talk about Married at First Sight. A lot of them, if you follow the show, don't stay together, or a lot of them actually are just trying to be on TV to boost their careers or notoriety, or not just TV. I can't
talk about, like, because I don't want to bring that into perspective. Granted, I know that's out there. Does it sound weird? But granted, I know that is out there, and I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that viewpoint of marriage, because that's gonna miscue some people's thoughts.
Right. Wait, you want to get rid of what viewpoint of marriage?
Like how the TV, as into Married at First Sight. I want to get rid of that point of how they're trying to portray. Like, can I finish?
Go ahead.
Look, can I kick it?
Because the thing is, I feel like TV always tries to sit there and give you this false reality of what marriage is supposed to be like. But let's just look at the people around us, like, as into your mom. If your mom and dad are married, or your friends that are married, like, let's look at what's around us and not what's on TV, and let's use marriage in that way.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna chime in again. I'm currently not married, but the closest thing that I can try to pull from for what you guys are saying and how it seems in my life is, like I said, the constant. Shaka made a good analogy of cycles. Bakari had a great one of chutes and ladders, ups and downs. Sometimes you move forward, sometimes you move back. But I think the closest relation that I have with my son is that, and I believe, and I truly believe, thank you, Lord, for revealing this to me, is I believe God is prepping my heart for marriage, but He does it some things like through my son, in a sense of, there's times and phrases and seasons that when I feel like life is good, like we're flowing, we're good, we're rolling. But recently, and not in a negative, not all has been negative, but I've been seeing shifts in him and his like personality, who the person he's becoming. Yeah. Right. If it was all me, in my mind, sometimes I get stuck on the certain stage or phrase of, like, when he was like 7 or 8, he didn't have any teeth, and everything he said was adorable. Right. And then now when that shifted, I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? But I realized he just like me, he's shifting and changing too. That's now it. And it's like yesterday we had to have a hard conversation about some other stuff that was going on. Yeah. But I realized, I was like, okay, Anthony, this isn't last year. This is not even the same. He's not even the same person he was last year. Nope. Not in a negative way. Again, not all negative, I would say. But the crazy thing about this, God keep telling me you're going to have to adapt. I'm like, I don't like adapting like this every single. I feel like when I finally get a hold of it, it changes in your hand. You're like, dang. But I realize now, how in the world do you expect to get ready for marriage when, like you said, if you don't like change? Now, who doesn't like change? But the one thing that I heard said really best, and I think our pastor said it too, and it was really confirmed with me, is that in this year and this season of your life, you're going to have to become, and husbands, who are watching this show, wives, if you are not flexible, even if you're not married, if you're not, let's speak on the perspective of single people. If you're not flexible, meaning if you not just I can go with the flow or anything like that. If you are so stuck and stubborn in your ways that you are not allowing the other person, then you're not allowing grace for the other person to change.
Yeah.
You are setting yourself up for failure. And everybody, it's something that we know, but we don't really like acknowledge. If that makes sense, I know I have to be flexible to do X, Y, Z, but until you're put in that situation, same. I always thought I never really seen the idea of marriage, but like Shaka said, I got a little bit of my parenting style, I guess, from black fathers I saw on TV.
Yep.
Some of them, you know, my mom was married a few times, different people through things seasons of my life. I think you're a culmination of all those things, but I chose. I'm trying to think proper way to say this. But anyway, I'll skip that. I'll hold it for different seconds. But anyway, I just say I chose those things because those are the dads that I thought marriage looked like and I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And those are things, you know, they're all of them were not bad. Some of them I really like, they were funny. But I realized sometimes in this season, especially now, that's not who my son needs. And like you said, it's dying to yourself daily. Sometimes feels like hourly. Man. And I say dying is not like you just don't care about your life or your things don't matter anymore. But I realize when both people are dying to themselves, both people are meeting each other's needs. Yes. Now, sometimes it really does feel like you're dying or you're somebody that's stripping away, which is a good thing because I feel like that's God sanctifying you to be one and still continue to be one.
It's like a crab molting.
Right.
You know, when you doubt it, you know, when the crab molts, you know, it gets rid of its old shell. But when it gets rid of its old shell, it's exposed.
Right. Yes.
So when you're exposed, like I said, but you're able to receive different things as until it takes on the, I guess, what's calcium.
I think so.
I really don't know what their shells are formed of,
but I pick up what you're putting down.
Yeah. To start forming a new shell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the perfect analogy with that is molting. Like I said, marriage and molting. That could be a title right there somewhere. But like you said, when you feel exposed, and that's the thing I realized too. For me, I don't like feeling like that, but I realize it's a level of vulnerability that you have. Like it is not like you should have. It is necessary, 100% necessary that you have those things. Vulnerability. Not just as a man, but as each other, being with each other. Because if I can't trust you, and are you going to be offended? Yes.
For sure.
Are you going to probably say the wrong thing? But again, that is called
last night.
That's called life, and that's called, like I said, the point of marriage, being able to work and move those things. And I believe me, I was dealing with those things during this week, and I'm learning as a single person because it's hard. I know marriage is gonna be hard, but I'm saying it's when you've been doing it by yourself, what it feels like by yourself for pretty much the way you want it, how you want it, the way it's supposed to look for so long. That's why I even pray about, Lord, help me give the gift, because I'm currently in a relationship, but help me give the gift of being able to open up, able to not be so self-centered on me or what I want.
I think because you was that way for so long, and like I said, that's what me and Shaka was talking about before the podcast even started, was sometimes our viewpoint of life is based on what we know and what we experience. So therefore, like, it's hard to actually open up your mind to see the truth sometimes, because you might be looking at it as into it's supposed to be this way, and the truth is standing right in front of you. But because of your experience and what you know, it's hard for your mind to wrap that around. So what it does, it'll take reality and it'll warp it into what you know and what you experience to make you relate to it. And sometimes it kind of alter reality a little bit for you.
Yeah, and that's not to go too deep into what you said, but like you said, your experiences, if you don't trust people, right? Trust is a big thing. Or you felt like your trust is broken at one point. So you make a secret vow within yourself, I will never trust another person like this again. But that dude, like you said, you put up a wall. Now you might be right. I will never trust nobody on this particular level. Yeah. But I believe with emotional intelligence, that we know that even Jesus, we look at the relationship model what Jesus had. He had a core 12. Then he had a core big 3.
Yeah.
Right. how you what the right people in the right you can have the right people on your team or in your life, but if they're in the wrong seats, that's when I feel like you open yourself up to be hurt. But also, even in the sense, you're not all pain is bad pain.
Judas was exactly where he needed to be.
Exactly. Matter of fact, I thank God. We said before, I thank God for Judas. If Judas didn't do what he did didn't do what he did, then there will be no hope for us, right? Absolutely. And again, that's not. And if Peter,
look. First of all, if y'all was the 12 disciples, let's keep it real. Y'all was the 12 disciples, and y'all just heard Judas just sold out Jesus.
Damn, that's crazy.
Y'all gonna say thank God for Judas?
No,
you gonna swing on, man.
Judas probably didn't know that he was gonna be that Judas at the beginning.
Right? Jesus still picked him.
Yeah,
like he knew where he was gonna be, but he knew him not because he sold him out. He knew it because he knew his heart.
But you think Judas was like that when he first met Jesus?
No way. He was a disciple. Judas. Think about it.
He was a money man.
He was a money man. He wasn't just a money man. Remember, like it talks about Jesus sending the same disciples and stuff out to the towns to lay hands and heal people and to preach the good news. Judas was out there doing the exact same.
He was doing those things, but he also
wasn't just counting money.
Heart. Huh? He knew Judas's heart. That's why, like I said, Judas said one of y'all will betray me. He knew exactly what he was talking about because he knew the heart of the person.
Judas didn't know. He was
Judas didn't know.
One of us can be Judas, and we have no idea until that time comes.
Right. But the same thing I said, he knows our heart. And the thing is, I think it's still, like I said, it could have been anybody else. Because like I said, I think when God searched the heart, he knew that Judas would end up doing that. Just as into God knew the heart of Saul before he became king.
True, but you could also argue. I would also argue with that with Peter as well. Like your closest confidants, not to get so far off track. Your closest confidants can hurt you, but you have to be willing enough and emotional intelligent enough to be like, okay, I forgive those same people. If you don't have forgiveness in yourself or your marriage, I don't know what you guys have been through, have walked through, have done, but if you don't have forgiveness, if you don't have the capacity to forgive people, you are setting yourself up for a very rough life as a whole.
Like how can you ask God to forgive you if you ain't forgiving His kids?
Right. That too. But I mean, even if it's I say forgiveness is not easy. Let's keep that real.
It ain't even for the other person. It's for you.
It's for you. But you 100%. You are. Let's say 100%. You are validating exactly what you're saying. That person was 100% wrong. They did you wrong. But if you don't, I try to forgive them. That's why Jesus said, how many times we should forgive? 7 times 70. Meaning that tells me, Jesus, do you have to keep track and number? No. Right? You might need to. I feel like that. But I believe what he's saying is so many times that you might have to keep forgiving, because I can't tell you. Well, matter of fact, when on the day of judgment, when hopefully, like I said, I know I'm gonna be on the right side. But if the Lord says to me, Anthony, you asked me for forgiveness for this one particular sin 487 times. Or 712 times.
But did he mean that?
I'd be like, that's it?
But did he mean that daily though?
I think it means. But I think it boils down.
7 times 70 was it daily?
Daily, whatever it means.
I don't
hourly.
think it's to a lifetime. I think it means daily.
But that's what he said. He said, "What if the scripture says if he sins against you, if he comes to you back multiple times throughout the day?" Or some translations say multiple, sometimes say 3.
What does this got to do with marriage?
But I'm going to say, right, bring it back, Shaka.
Bring it back, brother.
Good job, Shaka.
And with that being said,
No.
We got 54 minutes.
But what I'm saying is that requires that type of level of forgiveness and commitment to forgive that person all that many times throughout the day. Even if you're just not even married, just say in a relationship. If you're in any type of relationship with people, if you work in the public eye and sphere, Lord Jesus, that's you. Thank you, Lord. Unfortunately, God gave me another revelation in my heart. That's where I'm at, and that's where I'm at the job I'm at. Is work on my forgiveness of people, because people are, I'm gonna be true, a ratchet.
Well, I was gonna say the same word.
A ratchet. Reckless for some reason. Listen, I call those same people. This is why I say those. I know Lord always tells me all the time. Though that's still my son. That's still my daughter.
But is he though?
Look, I was gonna say, but is he? I know. Listen, this is Anthony talking to Anthony. It said God says when you do something, do it as if you're doing to Lord. I said, but Lord, you won't cuss me out over it though. I said, I'm just gonna throw that out there. But he said, that's still my child, right? I love them just like I love you. And I was like, I say, look. All right. I said, but they still, I call them armpit people. Right? They are from God, but I said, I truly believe, Lord, these are from the armpit of God. Meaning, look, the undercarriage. They're still of God.
Yep.
But I'm not saying these armpit stink. But I'm just saying, nobody says an armpit's attractive. Do they? They never looked at an armpit and like, dang, whew, she got great armpits.
I will say there are some ugly armpits.
There's some ugly ones.
I ain't never said that.
But they're still from God. But you're the armpit of God. That's that's the nicest way I can say, get out of my face. You're from the armpit of the Holy One himself. But please leave me alone, because if not,
I'm gonna put that on the shirt. As long as you ain't get that from somebody,
I did not. But Pump Stock, let's trademark. Go ahead, trademark that.
That's gonna be our next T-shirt.
You are from the armpit of God. What does that shirt mean? That I would gladly tell you, brother.
Let's talk about it.
But that just kind of keeps me in check about how do I try to treat people and whatnot.
I like that. So I think going back to the expectation of marriage. The more expectations you have, the more you're going to set yourself up for failure.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
There it is. That's the ending that we was looking for.
That's the ending.
That's it.
And
with that being said,
on top of that, because I feel like there are only a couple real life couples that I see as strong and as I see as a mentor couple, and that is my grandparents.
Hey.
I'm afraid to say her first name in public.
Why?
You see how I'm stuttering? I was like,
look, Marjorie,
Miss Johnson. I hear Miss Johnson.
Mrs. Johnson.
I have no problem saying George, but for some reason,
you get punched for saying your grandmother's name in public.
I feel like I get punched for saying my mom's name in public.
That's weird. Like when somebody asked me my mother's name, I remember when I first asked when I was a kid. Somebody said, "What's your mom's name?" Mom.
Yeah.
What's her real name? Oh, Mama. No, that's a curse. You call your parent by their first name. That's a curse word. You cussed it at him.
I feel like I gotta put Miss Margie in front of that. That's my grandmother. But thank you all for being such a strong couple and being together. For y'all are literally the longest lasting couple that I've ever known. I came into the world knowing you two, and y'all have been married since my birth at least. All right. So thank you all thank you two specifically for being strong. I hope you're watching this podcast. I want you to know that I love you. All of my aunts and uncles, all of my 15,000 aunts and uncles on my grandfather's side, because it's a lot of them. All of them that are married. Y'all are all strong couples, and I'm looking up to you all. Just like people might look up to me, people might look up to Anthony, people might look up to Bakari.
You watching.
I'm watching you guys.
Drawing strength.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not watching the fairy tale version of your marriage that you put on Facebook. But when I see you all living your lives, I take notes.
Right.
So continue to live
the multi
your continue to live your raw self.
And I would say that to add on that as we chime out.
Yeah.
I'm drawing from you guys. I'm so blessed to have you. Truly, I am so blessed to have you guys in my life. The way you pour in, the way you encourage me, the way you check me sometimes, the way we check each other or clown each other. But like, I am taking notes of like you guys, not just relationship, but like your marriages. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. But like you said, when I see the authenticity in those, I clown Bakari because we used to mess with Bakari a lot when him and Brittany started dating. But then I will say when I walked through it,
I got the messages.
I would never.
50,000 lashes, right?
50,000
lashes. That's what I was told.
Oh my gosh! But I used to clown you a lot or pick with you a lot. Man, why you doing those same things? But I truly, that came with immaturity. But the more I got, especially with Bakari, I will say I'm like, man, he's really killing the game. He is. I can't tell you how many times I've drawn or it was encouraged, like, man, I'm trying to be a dad like that. Man, I want to be a husband like that.
You was looking at the Facebook post. That's what you were saying.
I'm seeing the real life. The only what's funny? The only reason I would claim Bakari's out of church because I invited him. But the only reason I started going to church again was because of Bakari. Because he was talking about how the things he's not because he was bragging, not because the things he wanted to instill in his children and his relationship at the time that I said, man, I want something like that. And then I really started seeking after God, like, can I have something like that or whatever? Not in the comparison sense, not in what those things, but I want that for my life. And I started going, and Lord, behold, I found the Lord and found him blessing me with a bunch of people and resources. Have I been perfect? No. Have I made some mistakes on the way? Yes. But he was the main reason that got me started back into trying to go back and seeking after God.
And that's funny because that was a seed that was planted that helped me out. Because, like I said, with you doing that, it opened up a way. Like I said, whenever I transitioned out of my church, like I said, that opened up an opportunity. And the church that you went to, you invited me to. And therefore, when I got there, like I said, I was able to be poured into the way God needed me to be poured into. It had me around the right people, I should say.
Right.
And like I said, I always give, I pay homage to my old church because that was my startup.
Right.
That was where I was first planted at.
Try to get me after I cut down them trees with that handsaw. I said, "Nah, I'm cool."
Every time he said,
y'all got me
hard work. He said, I don't want to be part of the hard work.
Man.
Listen, I work hard enough, but Shaka's look. Shout out to Miss Knopfler out here.
Man.
She don't look.
She was
Look,
taking-
had us
she-
feeling like Samuel out
Right.
there. Like,
she
She
was
was hard working
she
there.
was raising us from boys to men.
That I will say that.
Boys,
I will
man,
say
I
that.
wasn't
I
even
found out
on
with
the breast yet,
I remember
dog.
they said, "Look, I remember
Boys to
I remember
men.
they were supposed to clean out her garage." Shaka hustled me one time. I didn't mean to get on subject.
Hey,
He got
man.
me. He says, "Hey man, you want to help Miss?" She said she'll give you $20 to help her clean out her garage or whatever. I was like, "Yeah, I ain't doing nothing this weekend. Let's go." Man, I opened that garage, Miss Knopfler. That don't make no sense, bro. That don't make.
It was
How
wild.
in the world do you how
wild.
Miss Knopfler?
fumbling out.
Bro, I said, "Oh," I said, "She said she'll give us how much? 20?" I said, "Nah." And what's crazy is,
Mo Bucks.
bruh, I'm about to go ask her for more. She said, "You better not." Then she tried to get us to cut down a tree with a handsaw, like a broken handsaw. The tree might be this big around.
Yeah.
Listen,
Y'all got it. Y'all young, strong boys.
listen. She's good. She knew how to maximize
Oh, man.
the
Come
work
on
and
now.
potential. She's
She
like the
knew
Bible
she-
story. Well,
she knew we knew
Nah,
we didn't
man.
know what she knew.
Man.
basically, she,
Nope.
that Shaka said it's gonna take us a couple days. I said, "All right,
Man.
that's your mom. You coming over again?" No.
There are Mr. Miyagi sized lessons in everything that Pastor had me do as a kid.
Yes.
I
You know what I
appreciate-
learned?
I
Say no.
appreciate-
Say no. That's why I learned.
You know what?
That's what God told me.
You know what?
I learned that 2022.
That's why you didn't learn. That's why you didn't win a karate tournament.
Yeah.
I did not. I don't
I
care.
did not.
No.
I wasn't meant to break boards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. No, woman.
That wasn't it. That was your gift. You meant to
man.
break boards.
Nah, man,
I'm not
you
meant to
quit.
break boards.
That might be
Quit.
Matter of fact, so
I'm just meant to
it's
twist
starting to make
ankles.
sense
What you
now.
mean?
Man, that's
How?
Shaka's been walking probably a straighter line than most of us probably
Wow.
earlier in his life. So that makes more sense. Shaka stayed around a lot longer to know how to treat a woman, how to be a great husband first.
Oh,
Then
my
Bakari stayed there
goodness.
way longer than I did. I got my one lesson I left. Shaka Bakari is now married, and now he's starting to get it. He's walking through it. Me, they said, Lord said, "You close, son."
I need you to go back to Miss Knopfler's house
Nah. I'd rather stay
and get
single.
your work real quick.
That's basically- He said, "Nah." He said, "I had to give you that Miss Knopfler type of work
on,
in other
man.
ways and areas."
God, please call him back to clean out her garage this one more time before you
Please,
before
Lord.
you solidify his
No,
calling.
I can tell you right now that garage is cleaned out.
Thank you, Lord.
It's been clean for years.
I bet after we had a
No, it got dirty after that again.
Oh,
I'm
my
sure.
gosh.
But God, we were that was like
we were like 15,
15
16
years ago.
Yeah, nah,
that was literally
I was
half-
traumatized. When I
That
saw
was
that stuff
more than
fumble,
half of our life ago.
Literally, when we opened the garage, that stuff started falling out. I said, "Oh, hey, Shocky, you better take me back to the crib."
Nah,
I better
man,
call
we
my mom.
here.
Hey, mom, can you go pick us up?
We here.
Oh no!
We are here.
And then
But- oh
crazy,
my
is she didn't
God.
have no place she wanted to put it. That's the crazy part.
It was
Hey,
more
well,
like it was
took it
throw,
out,
throw,
to put it right back
throw away
in.
big stuff and try to put it back organized.
Oh my gosh!
But so speaking of inviting people to church, Anthony, I thank you for inviting me to come to Miss Sylvia's because growing up in a black church, we grew up blackety black, where we go visit other black churches and we have other services. All right.
Oh, snap.
We grew up blackety black church, but I think when you invited me to start coming to that youth group, you shifted my worldview out of what just black church is. Because what I grew up with was just our church. Us going to visit other churches, driving 3-4 hours. The Sons of Thunder can't remember
goodness gracious.
in that old blue church bus, driving for hours to go sing at other churches, driving for hours just to go hear another message. And that's still something that black churches do. And I love going to visit other people's services. But when you invited me to that youth group and I went to Resurrection for the first time, I had no idea what any song was being sung. I had no idea what was going on. But I think we kind of talked about this before our podcast, adjusting your worldview of things. I was open and I was like, wow. So there are other ways to worship God than just the way I do it. You ain't gotta be loud. You ain't gotta always speak in tongues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of avenues to get to God, and it all depends on how you want to do it.
Right. So it was crazy. I think at a young age we were introduced into, I say ministry, like in a certain, like physically, it blew my mind. Same thing.
Yeah.
I was going to those youth groups, Miss Sylvia group. Now I helped a little bit, but the way
Yeah.
that y'all were the Sons of Thunder, when I say y'all play the tambourine, y'all play the drum,
We did
somebody
it
might have been on the
all,
guitar.
man.
Not actually have a formal lesson, but like
Yeah.
somebody needs to get this done to have these services.
Simple as that. I ain't had no drum
matter
lessons.
of fact, I remember I got called up to sing one time with the I was Lee Street.
Oh,
I remember.
probably.
I came to visit y'all. I heard y'all was singing,
Yeah.
and I came to sit there. She said, "All right, get up there." She said, "Anthony, go." I said, "What? I'm not in the group. This is no. I'm not Rocky. Look, this is,
I don't-
you know,
Rocky?
Rocky.
You not Rocky?
I know. Said, look, you know, I'm not Rocky." She said, "Come on." I said, "Come on in the room."
You are the
Look, I just
Come
look.
on.
I just look. Well, I throw a few ad libs in there. I say, bro, I didn't even go crazy, but I just think it's crazy how all this
goodness.
come about and
Yeah.
how this not just shaped your worldview or just kind of how we've been throughout the years.
Yeah.
Encouraged being in each other's lives. Lord, putting the multiple seeds
Absolutely.
to get us here to maybe eventually to speak out about these experiences on there. It's been truly a blessing or amazing through that. And I agree, again, I can't say it enough how much I love you guys and how much I value you guys being in my life.
Hey. And with that being said,
Let's roll it out.
let's roll it on out of here. Shaka, kick us off with the
Kick
ending.
us off.
Kick us off.
Thank you for experiencing another episode of Pops and Socks, where I'm bald headed, he faded, he dreadlocks.
We out here, baby. And with that being
Say
said,
it again.
give me my theme music.
Bow, 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 chicka, bow. Bow.